Um. All right. I do believe we are. Okay, there we go. I do believe we are live now. So welcome everybody. Let me mute that. I forgot that's gonna be really loud. Welcome back to another podcast. I have not done one of these. I know it's called weekly updates. I don't remember the last time it was actually weekly. Uh, it's been an extremely busy year every single week, but this week I don't really have anything going on as of right now. So it's a Wednesday. I have some time to kill, so I figured I'd throw together a little bit of a podcast here. Just gonna talk about how points are looking, how the previous weekend looked, and everything else like that. Um, Now, obviously, for those of you who watched the last episode somehow, uh, the topic of conversation is gonna be very different. There's been a lot of changes, so I'm not gonna be talking about it like I would be if it was the next sequential week. With that being said, uh, you've probably already seen the point standings and how everything's looking. So I'm not going to go over every specific detail, but I'm going to talk about the things that have been standing out. So first off, obviously, unless you've not been paying any attention at all this season, Bari Musauer is currently leading Stadium Series East. Tyler is currently losing. This is Tyler's first time looking down in a series, I think, since 2022. Unless no, I think 2023 might have gone to Ryan. Let me check actually. I'm kind of drawing a blank right here. I'm drawing a blank right here. Hold on. Um, Monster Jam 2023 points. I think it might have been Ryan. I always forget 2023 is a weird year. Okay, it did go to Tyler. So this is Tyler's first year looking down in points since like 2022 because 2023 he won, last year he won. This year not looking too good for him. It's not that it's looking particularly bad, but usually we'd be seeing him doing pretty decently in points, and the past 3 weeks I think he's been behind in points, and he's actually behind a Bari Musauer, which is very interesting. I don't think we've ever seen Bari this prominent in points before, but he is pretty high up there. So uh, I don't know. I think it would be nice for Bari to finally have his year. I remember in 2019, he basically won at the World Finals, and they told him he didn't win. And I think it would be cool for him to actually get a big win under his belt now, because I feel like, I mean, he's a veteran driver. He's not like a new driver. So I think he's overdue for a major career achievement. I mean, obviously he has like the world records and whatever else, but obviously I don't think a lot of fans really care about that anymore, especially since like the whole thing where Monster Jam was still claiming fastest speed even though Joe Sylvester broke that and whatever else. Um, I feel like a lot of people don't really care about the breaking world records thing anymore. Like the highest jump thing going to Kristen Anderson didn't even make sense because there's been countless jumps way high. I don't know. The whole breaking world records made no sense. Point is, I think Bari deserves to get a big career achievement, um, and winning a series would be a great way to do that. Now he was looking pretty good coming into last week, but after Indianapolis, he's only leading by 12 points right now. So it's not a big lead by any means. So he did lose I think 14 points on Tyler in Indianapolis. So Bari's really gonna have to be careful what he does going forward because that series does still have quite a few events left. Um, so I mean, there's a lot of room for Tyler to catch up, but there's also room for Bari to gain on Tyler. But Bari's gonna have to be on his A game, and Tyler is going to have to be even better than that. That series is looking like it's going to be a constant battle for the rest of the year. Camden Murphy probably out of the season. He's 61 points out from the top spot right now, but he's still in the podium, which is not a bad place at all, especially considering he's in a new chassis, I believe, this year. So, third place is not something to complain about when you're dealing with a brand new truck and a new body. It's a new season. I mean, Camden hasn't been full-time in stadiums for as long as uh, Bari has been. I don't know, actually. Yeah, out of the three of them, out of Bari, Tyler, and Camden, Camden's been full-time in stadiums the longest, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see how things go for him. He still hasn't been able to pick up a series win, but he seems to always be up against someone. I mean, I don't know. His best opportunity, in my opinion, probably would have been last year, or sorry, 2023, since it didn't go that great for Tom, and Adam has not been the most insane driver in the past few years, but he wasn't able to take it home then. It doesn't look like this will be a season, but I'm sure he'll get there eventually. Dalton's still in the top 5, which is good to see, alongside Armando. And we've seen, this is another interesting thing, 6th to 8th place has been constantly changing. Like, every time I check, it's different. I remember coming into Indy, Jim Kohler was in 6th, I was really excited because it was nice to see Jim Kohler in the top half of a points competition for the first time since I could remember. But now Cole Stevens is back in 6th, Cynthia's in 7th, and Jim's in 8th. That has been switching around a lot. So Jim is, I want to say, yeah, Jim is 9 points out from Colt's spot, and then Cynthia's just right in the middle. So it's like, that's an interesting race to watch. It's because they're all within 10 points reach of each other, so it switches with basically every show that's happened. So it's a good way to check driver consistency, who's been more consistent than the other ones. Evidently, Indianapolis wasn't exactly the best stop for Jim, which, I mean, kind of on Feld for shutting off Jim because of a flat tire. That seems kind of unnecessary to me. There were some really bad... East has all year had some really strange call choices that I have clearly not been the happiest about, but supposedly, and I can't confirm if this is true or not, somebody said that they're going to be more lenient on backflips into dumpsters, where if a driver backs into the dumpster, it still counts as an RII, but if the truck happens to rebound into the dumpster just from the momentum of the flip, it won't be a shutoff. Again, I can't confirm if that's true or not, but that's what I was told by somebody, so I'd like for it to be true. But we won't find out for a little while, since stadium tours are not competing in stadiums this weekend. That being said, Chris Kohler, I know he was really excited for this season. It's not really been his year. He has taken home several wins, so I wouldn't count him out for maybe a World Finals placement. But Mike Christensen has also taken home some wins. Unfortunately, it's very safe to say that Joe Foley and Kevin Crocker won't be getting direct main field invites. They're both too low down in points. I love seeing Joe on the track, but his freestyle Foley energy from last year, like, he's had it, but whether an official shutoff or just the truck not getting the right bounce that it needs, he hasn't not had that same freestyle Foley type of energy going on with his freestyles this year, and it's really killed him in the points. And Kevin's a whole different story. First place has 3 times as many points as Kevin Crocker does. Obviously, though, he's not driving to win. The only reason he's driving this season is because Corey Rummel stepped down. Otherwise, he'd probably still be crewing like he was before this season. It'd be cool to see him like the LCQ, but I don't even find that likely with how many more deserving drivers there are. He's just driving to have fun and to fill in that spot, so I will be interested to see who will take up that spot next season. Maybe Kevin will continue with it. I think, I want to say, there's the other Kohler. I don't remember which one it is. My brain's a little foggy right now. This is late. This is like 2 hours later than I would usually start one of these episodes. So, My memory might not be serving me 100%, but there's another Kohler that's been driving that maybe could take up that spot at some point. I don't know, maybe there will be another independent driver. Like, I remember we saw Preston Perez and Kevin Crocker. Sorry. See, there it is. Preston Perez and... Wait. No, now I'm blanking again. Who was it? Craig Champion, that's who it was. Maybe we'll see another pick like that where they weren't on Team Scream before, but then they are for a year. I don't know. I'll be interested to see what the deal is with that fourth chassis next year, with Corey being gone now. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting things with that, since Kevin's not looking to drive full time. As far as this tour in the World Finals, I think Chris might have a shot at it, because he has taken home several wins, but I'm not going to bet on it. Same goes for Mike. He's taken home 1 or 2 freestyle wins on the season, if I'm correct. I know he's taken home at least one, but I feel like there's been multiple. I don't know, though. But being 10th place, I'm not 100% sure that he'll be, get an invite or not, especially seeing as he's an independent. Same goes. That's kind of the same idea I have going for Chris. But I don't know. There's still a lot to look at with this with that series, and of course, it doesn't even need to be said. The points battle between Bari and Tyler is really the main conversation there. And then there's Stadium Series West, which I think most fans can agree is the more entertaining series to watch this year. There is a 3-way battle for that top spot still going on, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's a max of 5 points events left happening. I don't remember what it was. I think I counted and it was 4, but I could be wrong. I want to say it's 2 events in Atlanta and then 1 in Denver and 1 in Inglewood is what's left for that series. Maybe Seattle also? That's why I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. There's somewhere between, like, 3 to 6 shows left for Stadium West. So, it's going to be down to the wire with this series. Tristan is currently leading. Obviously, unless you have not been paying any attention, you should know most of this stuff that I'm recapping right now. Tristan has been leading. He's at 455. Ryan is in second, only 14 points out with 441. And Bryce, playing comeback, is only 36 points out with 419. So, this one's definitely going to be a battle down to the wire. There's no doubt about it. The competition has only been getting more and more tough. Every time you think a new driver has guaranteed the lead for themselves, someone else has come along to take it. Tristan is the only one who's been leading for at least a month, I believe. I'm pretty sure every other driver that's only actually led. Sorry, I just made up a word. Leaded is not a word. I'm pretty sure every other driver that's led on that series has only been able to do it for a couple weeks before being knocked out. Tristan is the only one that's been consistently in first. But in that time, Ryan has continued to gain on him, and Bryce Kenny has continued to come back from behind. I don't remember the last time he's been so close to that top spot, but right now he has 36 points out. 36 points is how much you can get in one event. So at that, within 2 events, you can make a total of 72 points. That's more than enough for Bryce to make a full comeback if Tristan or Ryan were to have an off night. So there is a 3-way battle still going on for that top spot. I'm going to be brutally honest. I want it to go to Ryan or Bryce. I'd rather, of Tristan, Ryan, and Bryce, I most wanted to go to Bryce. Same reason I'm wanting Bari to win his series. Bryce deserves a major achievement. He's probably the best driver that hasn't had a major win yet. He's not been able to win at the World Finals. He has had repeatedly awful luck at the World Finals lately. So he hasn't won there. He hasn't been able to win a series, but this is the closest he has been to getting a major win. So I really want him to, but I'm not going to put in a prediction or anything because, honestly, there is no way to accurately predict for this series. If I am going to make a prediction, even though I want even if I want Ryan or Bryce to win, my prediction is Tristan is going to win this series. I think that the problem is Ryan has been gaining, but Tristan has been fending him off. And I mean, the main reason, like, it's not like I particularly dislike Tristan, but his driving style drives me insane. And me and Ryan talked about this in the pit party too. Ryan described his driving style as checking the boxes, so he only does like the minimum of what he has to do to get the best scores from the expert judge, and he just stays in the lead because of that. So when he's freestyling, he says, okay, where can I fit in the technical move? Where can I fit in the backflip? Where can I fit in the big air? He's not worried about having an actual consistent freestyle. He's just worried about doing all the things that the expert judge wants to see, and that's going to get him the biggest score. But Ryan specifically said, that's not what I want to do. I want to give the fans what they want to see, even if it means losing the series. And that's, I mean, as a fan, that's why I want Ryan to win. So I guess it is an accurate thing. Like, if you do what the expert wants, you're probably going to win. If you do what the fans want, you're probably going to lose. And that's why the fans want the one that's probably going to lose to win. But I don't know. I want the series to go to Ryan, or more specifically Bryce. And now that Bryce is finally within event reach again, not one event, because unless Ryan and Tristan literally both got 0 points in a night, then Bryce could tie for the lead. But he like in Atlanta alone, there is a realistic possibility of for Bryce to get the lead. I don't think it's gonna happen just because of the way Tristan drives. He guarantees he'll get good scores. He just doesn't make it fun for the fans in the process. He has been improving on that, I'll say that. Ever since El Paso, his freestyle runs have been getting slowly more and more fun to watch. His freestyle in Minneapolis was particularly nice because he had that crazy rollover recovery that I really enjoyed. But I really, either I want to see him step it up or I want to see Bryce take the series. Statistically speaking, Tristan's going to win. That's how it's looking, but I mean, you never know. We have seen crazy comebacks before, and Ryan and Bryce are both absolute units, so I'm hoping, but you never know. Zach, topical, seeing as I'm driving Wildside, he is currently in 4th place. No real surprises there. He's the world champion. He was one of the best over in arenas. Now he is debatably the most consistent freestyler in the game. Him and Mike Pagliarulo both. Todd Leduc, he is in 5th, which is a little bit surprising to me because of the way his freestyles have been, which I'm not going to go around blaming Todd for his freestyles. He's been dealing with his own issues. He's not choosing to drive poorly, I'll tell you guys that. But I think we're all in agreement that his freestyles have not been the greatest, regardless of what the cause is. But it's not like I'm going to trash on him for it. Like, it's not his fault. It's just unfortunate to see. Nonetheless, though, he's still looking great in points. But, I mean, he's also a veteran. He's consistent, so you know he's going to be looking pretty good. Speaking of veteran and consistent, this has been the opposite of that for this driver. Adam Anderson and Gravedigger are currently in 6th place. Obviously, he's been adapting to the new chassis, and so far, he's not been adapting the best. But he's really been picking it up lately. He finally has started getting wins on the season. Things started looking up ever since El Paso. He's at least in the upper half of points now. Before, he was in like 8th place, I'm pretty sure. So he's at least looking better than before, but the furthest he can realistically get would be 4th place. Because he is, he's only actually 13 points out from where Wildside and Zach Garner is. So realistically, Ryan, at best, could make his way up into 4th place, but he's already out of the points race by far. In 7th, this is the best part of the series standings. Mike Pagliarulo and Excalibur. He has had pretty much, I would say he's had at least 30% of the notable stadium freestyles this year. I know that's a really big number, but like 70% of Mike's freestyles this year have been absolutely insane. The only exceptions to that have been when he's been facing truck issues. Like Glendale is the first one that comes to mind because I was there. and I remember his freestyle didn't go how he really wanted it to. Aside from that, I don't know. I know there's been a few runs that he's had some struggle with, but he has had countless absolutely insane runs. Think about it. Minneapolis, Tampa, um, I mean, there's no point in naming cities. He's done it in every single city. I don't remember where they were last. I think it was Arlington. I'm pretty sure he did pretty good there, too. I mean, Mike is... He's on another level this year. If he doesn't get invited to the World Finals, Feld went extremely wrong somewhere. I'm not entirely confident he will make it because it's his first full-time season and he's an independent. But, I mean, if you're 7th place on a stadium series, there's no reason to not be invited to the World Finals. Like, if you don't get an invite to the World Finals and you're 7th on a stadium, that is just dumb. So, I'll be hopeful that Feld gives him a World Finals invite, but I don't know. I don't think they will. Odds are, based on their trends in recent years, such as not putting Lil Zim in the World Finals after getting 2nd on a series, just by the odds, I don't think Mike Pagliarulo is making it to the World Finals. I don't think it's happening. Do I want it to happen? Yes. Does he deserve for it to happen? Yes. Will it happen? No. Not based on the trends we've seen from Feld. Especially not after last season when Joe Foley dominated freestyle for the entire year and got thrown in the LCQ. I'll remain hopeful that Michael gets an invite to the World Finals, but just based on Feld's trends in recent years, it's probably not happening. In 8th place, Cole Vennard, Black Pearl. No point in really talking about that specifically. This is the lowest placement he's been in pretty much any year I can think of lately, but he has been battling truck issues in and out, from steering issues to quite a few crashes in freestyle that just absolutely destroyed the truck. Like, he's broken 4-link bars in like half his runs this year, I swear. It's been a very rough year for him, but he was an ex-Gravedigger driver. I'm pretty sure he's an X-Series champion too, so he's pretty much guaranteed to get an invite with all that being said to the World Finals. So, Cole, he's had some cool moments. He almost had an amazing save in Glendale if his truck would have held up. But it was a very common trend at that show for drivers for drivers to be about to get the save of the night and then their truck to just give up on them. Particularly axle shafts and planetaries were killing the entire show for some reason. So it would be cool to see Cole maybe get some better luck towards the end of the season, but I don't know if that'll be happening. Kayla Blood, not looking great in points. 9th place, still probably going to get invited to the World Finals because she's driving Sparkle Smash. What are you going to do about it? It's not been a great season for her. Honestly, she's gone winless all year and is really low down in points. I don't think she deserves a World Final spot this season. I'm not saying she's a bad driver and should never be at the World Finals. Just going purely based off of how this season has gone for her, I think there's a lot of arena drivers, which we'll get to, that really deserve to make it into the World Finals. But I have a feeling that she will get invited because she's driving Sparkle Smash, and they like to have a good amount of female drivers. I mean, she's a fun driver to watch. She's been a fun freestyler, so I'm not gonna like knock her. She's a good driver. Well, she's a fun driver, but she has not gotten a single win this year, and I feel like you have to at least get a win if you want to go to the World Finals, but Feld probably won't be considering that. They're probably just going to consider the truck she's driving, and she'll get invited for the World Finals anyway. Moving over, we have Jamie Garner, Nick Pagliarulo, and unfortunately Matt in dead last on the series. I think they're all going to remain at the bottom 3. I don't see that changing. Jamie has a freestyle win. Apart from that, I'm pretty sure that is a whole winless section. I don't think a single one of those drivers have won. If there has been another one out of them, it would have been Nick winning freestyle, but I'm pretty sure it's only been Mike out of Team Tomfoolery getting wins this year. So, some tough luck there. especially for Matt on his anniversary. I was really hoping he'd have a good year and go to the World Finals with that anniversary truck. It's not looking like it'll happen. He'll probably still be placed in the LCQ like he was last year, at least hopefully. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I would like to see Matt have an opportunity to compete at the World Finals, seeing as he is now representing the 10th anniversary of Tomfoolery. Oh, thank you, Dreamlifter and friends. I love you. You don't understand. Let me check how many hours I have in a BeamNG. Hold on. I'm gonna pull up my Steam really quick. I have 1,157 hours into BeamNG. I have dedicated my life to this. So I'm on full setup too. Like, I'm using steering wheel and pedals. I haven't got my shifter set up yet because it doesn't work. Or it works, but it doesn't fit on my desk. I have to get a different type of desk before I can use it. But yeah, I'm using steering wheel, I'm using pedals, and for rear steer, I have just my keyboard next to my steering wheel, and I'm using the arrow keys for that. I want to get a rear steer console from Beam Monsters at some point, but I haven't yet. So for now, arrow keys will do. They've been working fine so far. So yeah, everything you're seeing me do here is as if I'm actually driving, minus the fact that I'm in third person. If I can get a combo out of this. Oh my gosh! Can I get this back? Okay, well, that was interesting. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit distracted, but that's fine. Uh-oh. Alright, I'm gonna switch maps. I've been on this one for way too long. So yeah, that's pretty much everything going on with the stadiums lately. Both of them are constant points battles, which is very fun to see. Honestly, I'd love to see Bari win, even though it seems like Feld has been a little bit unfair, going purely based off of the Bari versus Cole incident. I'm just gonna be honest in saying this. I think they've been a little bit unfair, but it would still be nice to see him win. He deserves that big win. I'm hoping Bryce can make a comeback on West. Probably won't happen. Tristan's been pretty consistent, but we'll see what happens. On Central, by far my favorite thing that we have had going on all season, John Zimmer Jr., terminal velocity, leading points. Matt Cody in second. Then we have Jamie Sullivan in third. And then, unfortunately, that means Fernando has fallen to fourth. I'd rather have Fernando and Jamie switch spots, but that has not happened. Dude, Little Zim finally dominating, just like we knew he would. He almost won in 2023, yet Feld still neglected him for the World Finals anyway. This time, he's leading the series. If he gets that win, they don't have a choice but to invite him to the main field. I'm really hoping he can win, but I'm not gonna say he has the win because Matt Cody has been crazy consistent. He's been really battling a lot with Lil Sim this year, and if I'm gonna be honest, I think there's a really high chance that Matt wins the series. Even Jamie is only actually 9 points away from Matt, so there's still a full possibility for Matt and Jamie to win the series. Matt and Jamie very well could still win the series, but as of right now, Lil Zim is leading. And I'm very glad to see that. And I'm hoping he can carry it out to the end of the year so that he can get that guaranteed World Finals spot. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Matt's been looking very consistent. He's a Gravedigger driver, and he's not a bad driver at all. He's actually been doing pretty good this year. So he's going to the World Finals either way. I'm not going to complain. He's been doing pretty good this year. He's had some good wow moments. He's had some big air, which is essential if you're going to be in a World Finals. You've got to be ready to go big. So very interesting things going on there. Honestly, Jamie Sullivan drives me insane. Okay, the reason that, like, I used to, in, 2023, I was, really happy to see Jamie finally starting to pick up wins and stuff. And then Feld invited her to the Superstar Challenge and the World Finals for absolutely no reason. And ever since then, I've been a D1 Jamie Sullivan hater. Not as a person, but as her presence as a competitor in Monster Jam, it has been driving me insane because Feld literally just invites her to massive events, even though she has not been in first place or been winning. Like last year, I think she ended like 4th on her series, and like most of the big scores she's gotten this year are because she's driving Sparkle Smash and has this stupid confetti, or because she just happened to make it to the backflip ramp before anyone else could. Like, it is so annoying. And, like, I don't know. I just feel like she's gonna get another World Finals invite while she realistically should be in the, oh, oh, well, she realistically should be in the last chance qualifier because she has proven on several occasions that she's not good at competing at a stadium level yet. Like, it is just so bothersome to me. I don't get it. Fernando, unfortunately, this season has been very rough. I don't see him being able to take home the series championship or get an invite to the World Finals, but I find it pretty likely he'll at the very least be in the LCQ, so if that ends up being true, I would be very happy to see him possibly win that and compete in main field. At the very least, I think he'll have a chance to make it to the World Finals field, whether that be an invite or the LCQ. And either way, I'd be fine with it. He's 4th place in an arena. If you're 4th place in an arena, no matter how much I like you as a driver, I think we can all agree that you probably shouldn't get a World Finals invite unless, keyword unless, you are a previous world champion or you already have a lot of stadium experience. Which there is going to be an exception once we get to Arena Series West with that. But if you have only been a full-time arena driver, you haven't won a world championship, and you're 4th place on your series, I don't see it necessary to get a World Finals invite. But of course, Fern, it's nothing against him. He's honestly been one of my favorite drivers to watch this season. And I really hope that he can get some better luck next year because he's had a lot of truck issues going on this year, and that's what's really been bringing him down. The Robins have also been really fun to watch. And John Zimmer Sr., it's been nice to see him back in Monster Jam as well. None of them I don't think has been consistent enough to make it into the last chance qualifier with how many other drivers I think would be deserving of that spot. If someone does, it would probably be John Zimmer Sr. just because he has a very long history with Monster Jam and has been on several full-time stadium series before, so he has that big floor experience that they would want to see for someone competing on a floor as big as the World Finals. But yeah, that's the main talk for Central. I really hope Lil Sim can get it. But Matt Cody has been very good this season, so I'd say there are pretty solid odds that he would win this season. Jamie, I don't want her to win, but there's a pretty solid chance of her winning too if she can manage to hit more backflips before Lil Zim can. Moving way over, we have up next... Did I break a tie rod? Oh no, that just broke my steering entirely. Okay. Well, that's fun. I no longer can steer the front end, and I'm done. Moving over, we have Arena East. This has already been Blake's series to win, but here's the thing. Blake has been dominating Arena East, but he already has had a series win. So what I think is gonna happen is I think that Feld's gonna have a thing happen like last season with Matt, Cody, and Dalton, where Blake's gonna be like, hey, it's been a great year, whatever else. But I already won. I already got my automatic bid, and then he's gonna give it to whoever's in second. And honestly, right now, it's very close between second place. There's only 9 points separating second and third place. It is a very close battle right now between MJ Solorio and Tony Oaks, and I can honestly see it going either way. Uh, I would like for it to go to Tony, not because I don't want MJ to win. Honestly, MJ at the World Finals I think would be really cool, but Tony has been trying to get to the World Finals for like 7 years, and he's been robbed out of it like 3 or 4 separate occasions. So I'm really hoping that he can do it this year, and he's really close to second place, and I personally believe that if he gets into second place, they will give him the invite. If MJ makes it in, I'm not gonna like complain. I think MJ's been great to watch. I really enjoy seeing him on the track, and I think he deserves the opportunity. But I think Tony deserves it more just because of how long he's been trying for it, and because also he had a crazy bounce back from like 6th place to now being in podium. That is an insane bounce back, and if he can make it into second place, I mean, he's earned it at that point. As if he hadn't already. Tony Oaks, I think, because Blake already has a series win, I think Tony will be the one getting the main field invite. If he gets the second place spot. MJ, I think, should be in the main field, but I think it's gonna be a very cutthroat World Finals lineup this year because of how consistent everyone has started to get. So if I had to guess, second place on East will be at the World Finals, and then whoever's in third will be in the last chance qualifier. That's just what I think. And here we go again. This is going to sound really similar to what I said for Jamie. Kristen Anderson is in 4th place on East, and, like, she's 157 points out from the lead, which is almost 50 points out from even being on podium alone. And again, it's not anything against Kristen as a person, but she has already proven on several occasions her performance on a stadium level is not that good, and she's looking to place 4th place on the season. I mean, I get you want to have more gravediggers in the field, and I get you want to have more female drivers in the field, but I said it before and I'll say it again. Unless you're a world champion or a previous, okay, here's the one thing that I think would justify Kristen making it in. She is a previous series champion. I will say that. And that's something I kind of forget a lot when I get into this topic is, I get very specific about who I think does and doesn't deserve a world final spot. And I feel like unless you have had a full-time stadium career at some point, which Kristen technically did, she did for like a year, but it didn't even go that well anyway, I don't think you should be automatically put in the main field, but you kind of forget who hasn't been a series champion. She was a series champion, so looking at that part of it, I do see how you could fairly justify her being invited into the main field. The thing that bothers me with it is she's already shown so many times that she's not great at competing on a stadium level, and it's 4th place on an arena. I don't know. I know she's gonna get an invite. Like, I'm saying this right now as a fact. Kristen Anderson will be put in the main field for the World Finals. Not the last chance qualifier. She will be put in the main field. It's a guarantee. And I don't think she's a bad person. And she's definitely not the worst driver by any means. She's not a bad driver, but her competition, or her level of competition, just hasn't been a World Finals level. Now, if there was like an arena World Finals where they did a World Finals in an arena for arena drivers, I think she would be fair in that. She's good at doing arena freestyles, or at least decent at it. But when it comes to stadium freestyles, she's not that good at it. The past 3 World Finals that she's been invited to every single time, she has proven it over and over and over again. Like, every single World Freestyle run we've seen from her in recent years has been mediocre at best, lackluster at average. Last year, got a max of 10 feet off the ground. and the only notable part of her freestyle run at all was the backflip. 2023, gonna be dead honest, I don't even remember what she did in her freestyle. I don't even think she did a backflip. I'm pretty sure she just drove around, did tiny jumps the whole time, and ended the run. Like, it was genuinely disappointing to see. And then 2022, I think, was one of her better World Finals performances, but that was like Gravedigger's anniversary and all that stuff, so there was more pressure. But let me take a look at something here. World Finals 2023 results. I want to see where she placed in freestyle. Okay. In 2023, she got a 5.9 in freestyle. Like, that's kind of insane. If you're going to a World Finals, like, and I know that wasn't a very fortunate year, but the difference between her and a different driver is a lot of the other drivers that got low scores crashed early or broke early. But I'm 90% sure she filled time. So, that's just what I don't understand. Is like, if you're not good at competing at a stadium level, why do you keep getting invited to do World Finals events? It just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, World Finals in 2022, I was actually wrong. She got a 6.5 there as well. So, I mean, I just don't get it. It is a constant low placement, but a constant re-invite. I don't know. I get it's a Gravedigger, and I get you want more female drivers, but there's better options. Honestly, like, put Miranda Kozad or something if you want more female drivers. If you want another Gravedigger, put Charlie Pocken. That's the solution. But Kristen, I just don't think has been consistent enough this year. She's had years in the past that I'd say, okay, it's acceptable to invite her. But, I mean, she's been consistently in 4th place this year. I just don't think it deserves an invite, but I'm getting so hung up on this because I know Feld will invite her anyway. And it just kind of bothers me. That's the same way I feel with Jamie Sullivan. Again, no offense to them as people. I'm purely talking driving style. I don't think, at least, like, I don't see anything wrong with them as people. But their driving styles don't fit the World Finals. It just doesn't make sense to put them in main field. LCQ, I'm all for. I think they have both earned their way into the LCQ undoubtedly. Put Jamie and put Kristen in the LCQ, and I think everyone will agree. But main field, I don't know. Sorry, I've been talking about this for like such a long time. This is just like a topic that I always get so annoyed at because every single year Monster Jam finds a way to invite them, and every single year it makes no sense to me. LCQ, I'm all for it. Put them both in the LCQ, no complaints. Put one of them in main field, maybe. I'd say if you're gonna put Jamie or Kristen in main field, it's a little tough between the two. I'd probably say put Kristen in, purely because she is a past series champion and because she has a full stadium series. Putting them both in main field if they do it again, absolutely insane. I don't know. And this isn't even meant to be a World Finals episode. I'm just getting so hung up on this because this is what happens when I talk about points. I talk about how points affect the season later on. And yeah, the Teleshkas are in 5th and 6th respectively, Brandon and Michaela. Brandon, not going to be able to make main field this year, but it would be cool to see him in the LCQ, no doubt. I would love to see that. I mean, he's a fun driver to watch, but I'm not going to say, oh, if you're 4th on an arena, you don't deserve main field, and see Brandon in 5th and be like, oh, he deserves main field, though. No. I mean, I think we can all agree, based on his performance this season, he shouldn't be in the main field, but again, like I said for Kristen and Jamie, LCQ, I'm all for it. That would be very cool. I think he fully has earned his way into that spot. And I'd be interested to see what would happen because I remember he was in the LCQ last year as well. Moving over, we have Arena West. Or should we say Arena Weston because Weston's winning. He's been winning since day one and that's not going to change. Second place, Cody Saucier, no surprises. Veteran driver, he knows what he's doing. Third place, this is very exciting to see. Devin Winfield, Velociraptor, love to see it. Fourth place, Brianna Mahan. That is the exact top four I would have expected. Only exception is I think coming into the season I was expecting Tim Hall to place a bit higher up. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. It's not really his fault. He has been dealing with countless truck issues all season long and just not been able to get past them. And I know he was really looking forward to this season too, so it's a really tough break. I think LCQ would be fair, but if Devin doesn't get main field, I think Devin would deserve the LCQ spot more. With that being said, though, I mean, Devin main field automatically would be cool. Now, this is something I was talking about earlier. Even though Brianna's in fourth, she does deserve the main field spot because she drove full-time in stadiums for 3-4 years. Right? 2018 to 2020. Maybe 2017 as well, I'm not entirely sure. At least 3 years. Brianna drove full-time in stadiums for at least 3 years. I don't know why she's not back in stadiums by now. But she is fully deserving of the World Final spot, especially since she basically should have won in 2020. 2020. I was trying to figure out what year it was. It was just 2020. She should have won that year. If not her, like Todd or someone. So, yeah, she deserves a World Final spot because she has proven on many, many, many occasions that she is fully capable of performing very well at a stadium level. That's why I think even though she's in fourth place, she's fully deserving. The reason I'm so against Jamie and Kristen specifically getting in is just because every time they perform in a stadium, I always get, like, I'm always cautiously optimistic, like, maybe they'll perform better this time. But in the past, every time they get invited to a stadium, nothing changes. It's the same low momentum, low air, and then a backflip freestyle. I would love to see that change, but Jamie, ever since Glendale 2023, nothing has changed. The only exception is in Glendale 2023, she didn't do backflips, and then ever since then, she did do backflips. And Kristen, I mean, she had a couple notable runs in the 2021 season, but overall, the average performance wasn't World Finals field worthy. Like Mike's season this year, he's in 10th, and he has had a better year than she did in 2021. I don't know. I'm getting too hung up on this for it to not be a World Finals podcast. Yeah, that's pretty much everything we had to talk about with the points, though. Now, excitingly enough, I was just on Arena West. I will be seeing my first ever Monster Jam Arena shows this weekend in Tucson. I'll be going to both the Sunday shows on the 23rd, so I'm very excited to see what Arena West has in store. I've wanted to go for a while, but the reason I was so, what's the word? I guess, I don't know, insistent on going this year is because Weston's on the series, and I mean, Weston in arenas is a non-human comparison. That's not the word. I don't even remember what I'm trying to say right now. It's like a non-human match? I don't know. I'm drawing a massive blank right now, but yeah. Weston in arenas is always insane, so when I saw he was coming to Tucson this year, I knew I was going to have to go this season. So, super excited. My first ever Monster Jam Arena shows. Fully looking forward to it. Every driver on West has done something pretty crazy so far. Berto, most of that's been unfortunate crashes, but hopefully we can see that change. Corey Rummel hasn't had a super outstanding moment except for that one skills combo he did. I'm mostly just excited to see him one more time since I didn't expect it to be his retirement season last year. I think I'm going to give him the custom rage I made a few years back, just because I want him to have it while I still get the chance to give it to him. So, I'll probably give him that. I don't think he's going to do anything particularly crazy. I just wanted to see him drive one more time. Tim Hall Jr., he's been consistent. Just the truck issues have been getting to him, so I hope we'll have something cool in store for Tucson. You never know. Monster Jam thing is, you never know what's going to happen. So, I'll be interested to see what he can do. I'd like for him to do something cool, maybe even do a backflip, since I don't think he's had a lot of opportunities this season, but you never know. Devin's been looking great all year. He's had a few insane saves. He's had a few backflips. He's done a lot of cool highlights, so that'll be interesting. Weston, different species. I don't know what he's been, but ever since his full-time debut in 2022, he has been insane. Like, every single year, Weston does something that is unmatchable. There was a compilation video, I think, of like every year towards the end of the season from 2022 to 2024, there's one specific move he does that makes everyone go insane, that just completely stands out from all his previous seasons, or from all his other runs that season, that like no one has ever matched in Monster Jam history. I'll be interested to see what he has in store this year, but I'm hoping he can bring that energy to Tucson and have some sort of one-of-a-kind, unforgettable moment. Whether he or not he'll be able to, we won't know until we're there, but I do hope to see it. Cody, I'm just excited to see Dragon back in Arizona again, since last time I got to see Dragon in Arizona was 2019, I believe. So I'll be excited to see that. Especially Dragon is my favorite truck, for those of you who don't know. So I'll be looking forward to seeing Cody Saucier. He hasn't had a ton of particularly crazy moments. I'd like to see him attempt a bicycle or something, but I don't think Tucson's big enough to do that, so we probably won't really be seeing bicycles this weekend. I'd like to see it. Probably won't happen, though. Brianna Mahan, she's always fun to watch. Aside from backflips, I don't think she's had many crazy high-scoring moments this year, but I'm looking forward to seeing her. I haven't seen her compete outside of the World Finals since also 2019, I think. Maybe even 2018. It's been a long time since I've seen her compete, with the exception of that World Finals event last year. So I'm excited to see what she'll be able to put on. Ashley, obviously not the most consistent driver on that series, which is not on her. She's pretty new to the sport still. Not rookie new, but she doesn't have as many years as her belt as some others on this series. I'm now realizing this series is like half veterans or drivers with quite a bit of experience, like Brianna and Cody, and then like pretty new drivers, like pretty much everyone that's on Team Throttle Monster, except Corey Rummel. I don't know. It's a very interesting lineup, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of these competitors and what they have in store, especially with some of them that I haven't seen in a very long time. Cody, I don't think I've seen compete in Arizona since probably 2018. Not that he hasn't competed here, I just haven't been at the shows for it. Because like I said, this is my first time going to a Monster Jam Arena stop ever. So I'm really looking forward to it, especially since I'm pretty sure they have the mini flips in every stop now. And there's a lot of cool things you can do with the mini flips, like Devin and Corey have had some sick skills combos using the mini flips, I've noticed. Weston's used the mini flips for like corkscrews, and he's had some of the cooler backflips we've ever seen, so I don't know. I'm just really looking forward to Tucson. Predictions, I don't know. My guess, both overalls go to Weston. If not him, Devin will probably sneak his way into one. But yeah, really looking forward to Tucson. Outside of that, I don't think there's any specific talking points yet. It's been about an hour, which is the running length we like to have for these episodes. So, I'm pretty sure just put everything we have to cover. Point Stadiums events pick back up next weekend with Birmingham. That will be the first Point Stadiums event after this weekend. That's only going to be East running. The week after that, East and West will both have shows. And the week after that, they'll also both have shows, Foxborough and Atlanta, that will be an insane weekend. I'm really hoping we'll have some more big air in Atlanta. You never know. Atlanta's one of those places where you don't usually see a lot of insane runs. It's usually pretty mediocre, except for one or two runs that have unmatched energy from any other stop the entire year. I've noticed that with Atlanta. Atlanta's not one of those stops where it's consistent, every single run is amazing. It's usually 9 out of 12 runs are average. Maybe like 2 out of 12, not great. But then one of them is just the most insane freestyle you've ever seen. You can't compare it to any other run that's like ever happened because it's just so out there. Like last year, I remember Todd LeDuc had a freestyle where he had like 3 insane saves, or it might have been 2, and then he was about to have an insane third one, but they shut him off. And Bryce, I mean, need I say more? Once you hear Bryce and Atlanta in the same sentence, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. So Atlanta will be crazy. That is in 3 weeks. But yeah, there's a lot of big stuff coming up for Monster Jam. I'm super excited to be attending my first arena shows. And although the World Finals isn't for a little over 2 months, a little over 3 months, we are still nearing the end of this season as far as points go. Like, there's still a lot of time left in the year until the World Finals, but there's not a lot of points events left. Like said, I think there's 5 or 6 points events left for West, and like 3 to 7 left for East. I know that's a big range, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm just trying to give a general range I know is accurate. Somewhere from 3 to 7 events left for East. So there's not, honestly, that much time left in the season as far as monster trucks go. Obviously, chronologically, there's still a third of a year left to go, but I mean, as far as the competition goes, we are starting to near the end of the season. I mean, by the end of April, there was only going to be a couple events left for a couple tours. So by that point, we'll probably have our World Finals predictions going down or something like that. So I've already made what I think are my ideal lineups. Not predictions, just what I would want to see. But I'm not going to reveal that until we do the prediction stream, just because I feel like those go hand in hand. Anyway, it's been an hour. Thank you all for watching. Those of you who were here for this stream, I hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you all next time. I'm probably going to try to upload a video tomorrow, just because I'm getting really close to monetization, so I'm trying to get watch hours as much as I can. So I'll probably upload some highlights or something like that tomorrow. But after that, the next thing you'll probably see from me will be Tucson footage. So super excited to get that out. With all that being said, that's everything I have for you fans tonight. Hope you all enjoyed hearing me yap about who I think shouldn't be at the World Finals, and I'll see you all next time.